Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It is March 10th. Lisa Lydia Scott with you here this morning. I want to remind you before we get to our news and weather headlines, we're live on Facebook every weekday morning right around this time. But of course, it stays on your feed throughout the day, so you can watch it whenever it works best for you or listen to it as a podcast. You can find that at inform.com/podcast. Just look for the Inform Minute.
All right, we're in for, I don't know, a warm day for sure. There's a lot of stuff that kind of comes along with the warm temperatures,
I know,
though.
it's never just the warm.
No.
There's always a little give and take. Wind is going to be pushing in today. Strong winds out of the west, 20 to 35 sustained, and then gusting 40 to 60 miles an hour. Turning around to the north with the passage of a cold front. Your high wind warning in effect for the western edge of Minnesota and then the entire state of North Dakota. Until 10 p.m. tonight, noon to 10. So that kind of gives you a general thinking of when we're looking at the gustiest winds.
Yeah.
While it's still out of the west, though, it's pushing in the warmer air. And so temperatures make it 50s and 60s today.
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
Our first 60s of the year. Looking at 66 in Fargo, which would crash the record high for today's data, 58. Set back in the whole 2024, last year. One year ago, way back when, in recent memory. So we're looking at record high potential for today along with the wind. It kind of in and out of clouds, not a terrible day, but if you're going for a walk, put your hair up.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want it whipping in your face. Got it, Scott? Put
Got
your hair up. Yep. Let's see, as we go throughout the evening, strong cold front moves in from the north, and this thing's gonna drop our temperatures like a rock. We will go from 60s at like 5 p.m. to 30s by like 8 p.m. So quick drop. You start losing 10, 15 degrees per hour. So like really quickly. By tomorrow morning, we are in the single digits in the teens.
Ugh.
Big difference.
Yeah, that's
from
huge.
50s and 60s this afternoon. With the cold front, we also have to watch out for a little bit of light snow or some sprinkles to work their way in. Nothing heavy, nothing that would accumulate, but don't be surprised to see a snowflake or two move its way in with this cold front. Then tomorrow, lighter winds, so that will be welcome.
Sure.
Out of the south-southeast, about 5 to 15, and your highs only in the 30s.
Okay.
I have us back near 50 on Wednesday, near 60 on Thursday, so we still have some nice outside days.
Yeah.
And then the bigger system moves in, the Colorado low, as we go into Friday, Saturday. I still have temperatures in the 60s on Friday, but it comes with wind and clouds and then the rain moving in. Okay. So I don't think it's like the perfect kind of 60s.
Sure.
Again, because it's always something. Rain develops that lasts throughout Friday evening, switches over to snow Friday night into Saturday. Exact track and placement, where does the rain-snow transition line set up, and when do we see that switch over? All of those still big question marks. But snow looks likely by Saturday.
Okay.
Also on top of today, a red flag warning, by the way, so some fire danger with how dry it is outside and how windy it's going to be. If a fire starts, it can quickly spread and become hard to control.
Yeah.
I'm talking about fire danger and snow in the same forecast.
Yeah, it's weird.
Holy cow.
A lot of weather whiplash, a lot to keep up
Yeah.
with. 'Tis spring in the northern plains.
That time of the year where
Yeah.
the weather just does all sorts of different stuff.
Yes, we're all over the place.
All right.
Even today, very much so. I have a forecast high of 70 in Siston, South Dakota, and 33 up in Langdon.
Holy cow.
So nearly a 40-degree temperature spread across the area.
That's
Wow.
life in the upper plains
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you, Lydia. Big story happening today. The Moorhead City Council will meet to officially approve the hire of the new police chief. Fargo Police Captain Chris Helmick is up for the position. He's been with the Fargo Police Department since 2001. Helmick will start his new job on April 14th.
Happening today, Grand Forks man will be in court ahead of his trial. 30-year-old Jeffrey Simpson is accused of shooting at police while officers were serving an arrest warrant last year. He's facing 15 charges, including attempted murder. Nobody was hurt. His trial is set to start tomorrow.
Today, a Minnesota man will be in court on animal abuse charges. More than 250 cats and dogs were found on his property in Beltrami County. Douglas Erickson is facing 9 charges of mistreating and torturing animals. He and his partner said they ran an animal rescue called Scram. When the sheriff's office went back to rescue those animals, they only found about 60 animals at that point. However, they also found a pile of ash and bones in an outdoor wood stove. Erickson's hearing is set for 10 this morning.
A man from Baudette has been taken to the hospital after a rollover crash in northern Minnesota. The Minnesota State Patrol says a truck rolled into a ditch about 25 miles south of Red Lake. The driver, 62-year-old Gregory Mortensen, was injured, had to be taken to the ER. That crash happened just after 10:30 on Sunday night.
The road to state begins today for North Dakota boys basketball. We're talking Class A boys basketball. We're broadcasting the Region 1A boys basketball tournament live for you. Quarterfinals begin today at 4:30. The semifinals start tomorrow night at 6. The third place game Wednesday at 6, followed by the championship game. You can watch all of this live on WDAY+. And remember as well, I wanted to point this out, later this week, the Class AA boys and girls state basketball tournaments start in Fargo, so on Thursday. So lots of basketball action early in this week for Class A, Class AA state tournament, and then of course the next weekend we'll be doing the Class A boys. So
It's one thing after another.
it's a ton of basketball, so
Yeah.
good stuff.
Today on Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, it was a historic sports weekend capped off by that hockey championship for the Moorhead Spuds. Mr. Hockey himself, Mason Kraft, joins the show to discuss the dominant tournament. Plus, it was a quick showing for both Bison basketball teams in Sioux Falls. So, what went wrong? That is from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra.
Remember, now's a great time to get your Inforum.com subscription, plus that WDAY Plus subscription for all of the games. Just go to Inforum.com/subscribe to check out some great deals.
Remember, join us the rest of the day for our newscasts. Our next one's at 11, then 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with First News from 5 to 7.
Have a great day, everyone.